We have the 5th pick in the NBA draft this year, and we still don't know who we're going to take. We were looking at Dennis Smith, an athletic point guard from NC State, who can also defend. And we were looking at Jason Tatum, an athletic wing from Duke, who's a pure scorer. Will we trade Carmelo Anthony, finally, for an established point guard like D'Angelo Russell? We're going to find out. Here we go with the 2017 NBA draft, and on the clock is the Orlando Magic, and they take Lonzo Ball. Much expected from them, as they do need a point guard. They're pretty much in need of anything at this point. Miami is number 2, and they take Harry Giles. Wow. I did not see this coming, folks. Could Markelle Fultz actually fall to the New York Knicks at number 5? Number 3, the Charlotte Hornets. Markelle Fultz. I got my hopes up, but much expected. Kemba Walker, his job is in question. Markelle Fultz is on his way to Charlotte, and all we have left standing in our way is Atlanta. And they take Jason Tatum. And the unthinkable happened. Dennis Smith has fallen to the 5th spot in the NBA draft, and we have taken him. Our new point guard has been drafted out of North Carolina State. We didn't have to trade our pick. We kept it, and we got who we wanted. He's going to provide the greatest amount of athleticism to work alongside Kristaps Porzingis, and I can't wait to get this thing started. This, however, means that Derrick Rose will most likely be out of the picture here in New York, as I do wish him the best of luck in his future. Now that the draft is over, we can focus on the other things to do this offseason, and the first order of business is to look into trading Carmelo Anthony. I don't think he can be a leader on this team. He's 33 years old. He's only averaging now 20 points per game. I know I say only, but Carmelo Anthony standards, that's not that great. His assist numbers are rising, but 4.3 assists per game, big whoop. So I did some searching around the league, and I don't expect to get so much in return because of his decline. So I went and looked for young players who are in the average talent range. So here's what I came up with. First, we have Sam Dekker of the Houston Rockets. He's a great two-way forward, excellent offensively, better shooter than a rim attacker, I guess, but his defense really needs some work, but rebounding is above average. Second, we have Norman Powell. He's probably the best defender out of the 4, which is what we need the most, but I don't know if Toronto's going to be willing to give him up, and I don't know if he's credible to be the return for Carmelo Anthony. Third, we have TJ Warren, probably the least athletic out of the guys I looked at, but he's great offensively. He has a knack for defense, believe it or not. And he's also in the last year of his contract, which might make it hard to keep him for the future because he probably would want a large extension. Lastly, we have Robert Covington of the Philadelphia 76ers. After they drafted Ben Simmons, he wasn't really wanted anymore, and he became a valuable asset off their bench, but I think he could really be a great starter in the NBA. So, he's great offensively, not too good on defense, not very athletic, but he can shoot. Now, before we get into anything else, I went out into free agency and signed a few guys. Matthew Dellavedova will be joining the New York Knicks this offseason. Delly Trey will be coming to New York to serve as our backup point guard. Great defense, great hustle, just what we need at the backup point guard spot. Allen Williams of the Phoenix Suns, probably the best rebounder in this free agency class. And to top that off, he's 24 years old, which fits him right into our young core of players. He'll be a great asset off the bench. To fit some championship experience into our roster, I went out and I signed Ian Clark of the Golden State Warriors, who is a very crafty shooter and will be a valuable asset off the bench. After that, I brought in small forward Justin Anderson from the Philadelphia 76ers. Previously played for the Dallas Mavericks after they selected him in the first round, but he didn't really prove anything. So I'm going to give him a shot to start if Carmelo Anthony ends up leaving. To sign all these players, I needed to clear some cap, so I had to go out and trade one of our most expensive guys who wasn't really doing much, Joakim Noah. Now, I offered him to Golden State for a first-round pick, like so, 2019 pick, and they came back and offered me this. They threw in Mindaugas Kuzminskas and threw in a lottery pick in 2020. lottery protected pick. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I don't really think Golden State will have a lottery pick in 2 years. So I was kind of willing to take this. It took some thought because Kuzminskas is a good asset off the bench. He's very versatile. But after further research, he's 27 years old. I know I'm being very strict with these young players. I need young players, young players, young players. I keep saying that. But he's not really putting up a lot of numbers. 16 minutes, 17 minutes per game. 8 points, 6 points, 3 points. Not doing much for us. So I went ahead and I accepted this trade. Now we have 2 extra first-round picks for the future, which is very, very valuable for just Joakim Noah and Mindaugas Kuzminskas. We clear about $18 million in cap room, which is phenomenal. But now we got to focus on trading Carmelo Anthony, which will be discussed in the next video. Thanks, guys.